I was in charge of the environmental agencies, and we started in 2003 in the middle of a big budget crisis. And so we had right from the get-go to deal with how do we balance our budget
Hmm.
and how do we do it in a way that we don't raise taxes, because the people of Massachusetts had made it very clear, because taxes had been raised in the previous administration, that they wanted no more, they couldn't handle any more, and they felt that they were at the breaking point.
Now, do you feel he can transfer that knowledge, that experience from the state level to the national level?
Well, I think when I watched what we did day in, day out, and the way he went through so deeply into each budget item and how are we going to do this, and really his bottom line was, how does this affect the lives of the people of Massachusetts? That's what he kept asking us and kept pushing us on. If we're going to do this, what does it mean for the people of Massachusetts? So I think if you have a president who knows the numbers but also has the right questions to ask when he looks at those numbers, which is, how does this affect the lives of the people of America, that's the right president.
Ann Romney is here tonight.
Yes.
Speech right before Governor Christie
Hmm.
does the keynote address. What is she going to talk about tonight?
Well, I think she'll probably talk about how wonderful Mitt Romney is as a husband and what he's like to be, for her in her life. And that's what she's going to talk about, because I certainly know my own experience as a mom. I had kids 1 and 3. He was so supportive of me as a working woman and I as a working mom. And he said, I care more about output than I do about input. And that meant I had flexibility. I could go home when my kids were sick. I worked long hours, but I could be there for their birthday parties. And I think, she's going to talk a little bit about how he balances his life with the family life.
So, what do you think of the whole tone of this campaign, and especially the Democrat criticisms of Mitt Romney as being out of touch with women?
I think there's just nothing further from the truth. I mean, I think of how we worked together. Half of his cabinet were women, which was delightful to environment to be in as a woman myself. And then the way he supported me and my family, and he watched out for us, and he made sure that I got home from the birthday parties, and we were out doing an event on Halloween night. And I remember him saying, what time is it? It's Halloween night. You've got to get out of here. And I said, I really do got to get out of here. And he said, you go, because it's more important for you to be home for Halloween tonight than it is for you to be here. And off I went, because my kids needed me to go out and I wanted to go out. And he thought about it and he knew about it. And he really worried about how you make sure you balance it. So, Governor Romney gets working women, and President Romney will get working women.
Let's talk a little bit briefly about, just give me an example of what folks should know. What should voters know about Mitt Romney that they don't see in these 20-second sound bites and the 30-second
some people,
ads?
he's a man, I think, who leads by example. Actions speak louder than words for him. So I think sometimes he comes across as a bit distant, and it's because he doesn't want to talk about himself, but it's because actions are important to him. So actions are more important than his words, and I think he's got a gooey center, and we don't see that gooey center, but it's there, and I want people to know that he lives his life because he cares about people. He cares deeply about people.
Are we going to see that Thursday night in the speech?
I hope so. I think it will come through, and I certainly know everyone who works with him and his, in his life, feel like we can depend on him and that we can trust him, and that he really cares about the lives of people in America.